congregation in a traditional sense would not fit this mold. I would use the term more of a community as opposed to boxing or following the guidelines of a traditional congregation, because in this setting it is not necessarily the members of the community coming to worship in this little space, but more of me carrying Christ into their work environment. And I think that's primarily the role as a chaplain or as a minister within this community, to really make sure that Christ is still visible and is seen and heard and is experienced within this community. And that's where I think the main part of my call here to really serve that community. And so I wouldn't use the word congregation as such, but that's how I would use it. Although we do have, since I've gotten here back in February, we started a noon or 12:30 on Wednesdays worship, so I call it the 3 W's. Weekly Wednesday worship at 12:30 on Wednesdays. And we've had a variety of people showing up, from passengers who are on their way to Jamaica or to India, and also some baggage handlers from Swissport or from Allstate. They would come here just to spend some time, some quiet time. And this service is designed primarily for the passenger as well as staff. We've designed a service which is about just 10 to 15 minutes long, and it's a full service. We have an opening prayer. We read a psalm, a responsive reading. We would sing a part of a hymn. I use most times the gospel reading from the preceding Sunday. Then we move into some prayers and of course a sending hymn. But it's a full service, but it's primarily designed for the passenger who is in transit, and also the staff, the employees who are here, who are probably on a little break. And we find a variety of people coming in here. One example was a young fellow traveling to India who's returning to be with his family because his sister's husband had just died, and so he wanted to find a place of solace as he was preparing for that troubling journey back home to join his grieving sister. And that service was just what he needed at the time. And I think what a great way to witness and to bear Christ even in a busy and sometimes very confusing environment like an airport, where you're just thinking about where you're heading or which sign to read and which direction to go into. But here you can pause for 10, 15 minutes. A place of solace, a place of rest, a place to hear Christ being preached, hear the message, and hear the word, a word of promise and hope. What better place? In this airport especially, there's a wonderful PA system, and there's a number that we call up about half hour before each worship service, and we say, well, this is the Protestant Chapel, Christ for the World Chapel office calling to request an announcement for worship services at 12:30 in the Christ for the World Chapel, and it's broadcast on the PA system, and that's how we get the word out there. There are also some flyers from time to time I would put out. Quite recently, I've been leaving some of these flyers at the Caribbean Airlines check-in desk, and they've been gracious enough to hand them out as passengers who are going on to their maybe 2 p.m. flight, who are already checked in, to stop by and be a part of a worship service.